It's just, it's just I don't see the huge upside there, and I know that's not really deep analysis off of it, but you kind of touched on McLaurin is a limited target. Ricky Seals Jones, yeah, he'll do well, but he's not going to be a big play threat, right? So Heineke's going to have to be very efficient, which he has been at times. Other times, he has been when he's targeting McLaurin. When he's targeting everybody else, he isn't.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can do that for 4 quarters enough here to say that, yeah, he was a great play. I'll put Heineke at 300 yards combined with 2 touchdowns.
Mm.
And that just, yeah, for 5,800, solid. Like
Right.
if I'm building a cash lineup, I don't see why you don't start with him. Um, but it's
I
just,
think a
yeah,
lot of people are going to.
yeah. I don't want to hear this. Oh, he's gonna smash
No,
analysis. So
no, he's not gonna like. He's not. He's not going for 375 and four, but he could go for 280 and get 30 on the ground and throw a couple touchdowns. I think each of the last 2 weeks he's run for over 30 yards.
he has that ability, and I don't doubt that whatsoever. Like I said, he's not. I don't think he's a horrible play. Um,
No.
but I think the Chiefs win this game 32-17. I'm giving out some weird scores this week.
Hmm.
All right, let's jump ahead. The
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel bad. I did record the rant that I had on Khalil Herbert. I'll post it on our site for everyone. Uh, but
Good.
the YouTube stream apparently was not picking up, but I do have it recorded. So speaking of
Well, it'll be a
Herberts,
it'll be a podcast instead of a
exactly.
live stream. So
Yeah, we'll make it a promo video. We'll get the graphics guy on that. Um, Justin Herbert. Speaking of Herberts against Lamar Jackson, looks like a juicy game on paper. 51 total. Baltimore
yeah,
off that Monday night comeback. Uh, I'll let you go first on this one.
I think it's a great pivot game off of the Kansas City Washington game. As far as which side I lean on, to this moment, I still can't figure that out because I think this game. I think there's honestly three reasonable outcomes. I think either team can blow the other out, or I think it's like a monster game. But I think there's going to be points in this game regardless. I just don't. I can't really pinpoint the players that the production is going to come from and which side is going to, you know, step forward.
So I love the Ravens defense. The Ravens
Okay.
defense is one of my top three defenses this week. I have them scoring. The Chargers offense, which I know very well because it's entirely mimicking the Saints offense system, is one that relies on two components on a defense. One, the safeties, and two, it really capitalizes on linebackers being in certain positions. And one defense that always gave them fits because of those two elements was the Ravens defense. And I just see players not being where Herbert is expecting them in the middle of the field to cause problems. He's gonna have to hold on to the ball a little bit, split second longer. You do have the 4 o'clock or the West Coast team come to a 1 o'clock, 10 a.m. early game time narrative if you want to buy into that, which it's a little bit there. The Chargers have historically as a team done okay with that, but um, I think the Ravens defense is going to cause problems for them. They'll be able to handle. So I'm surprised that Austin Eckler is not chalk this week. Um, I mean, he's up there in kind of that mid range, and he is someone that could certainly produce very well because I mean that you saw what the Colts did in the screen game to them, but to the
Yeah.
Ravens. But I think the Ravens because they just saw that they'll be ready for that. They'll adjust to it. The one guy that should carve up Baltimore is Keenan Allen. I
Right.
think Keenan Allen can get open. This is the Keenan Allen game, not a Mike Williams game. And because I don't think they'll have time to go deep to Mike Williams. And Keenan Allen at 6,400 has got a very good matchup, and should wind up producing, in my opinion, better than McLaurin, who you were just talking about. And probably, outside of Adams, I would say so far the receivers we've gone through, Keenan Allen is my favorite one thus far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see the Ravens creating sacks and turnovers, but in the end, Herbert will still throw for close to 300 yards because he's going to have to, but that's not enough. And the one guy that is very intriguing here, though, is Mark Andrews. He's 5,200, so he's in that kind of no man's land at price on DK, but that target share up to 30%. I know a lot of it was last week and they were coming from behind, and Lamar was just checking down to him. He's intriguing. I'm curious how many people try to go there. Don't even say Jared Cook to me. Just don't. Jared Cook is going to be the reason why the Ravens defense scores. Write that down. 100%. He's the reason why the Ravens defense scores.
He's gonna run the wrong route.
No, he'll run the right route. He'll bounce off his hands and then go into the hands of Patrick Queen or something like that, and he'll take it to the house. But
that's good.
Jared Cook's 3,200, dude. He's 3,200. So you're talking about the Khalil Herbert play, Jared Cook for 1,300 less. I mean, my God, that's free.
What about Seals Jones for $3K?
Okay, but Cook has Justin Herbert throwing to him. That's my counter to that. But no, you're right. You're 100% right. Both of those guys, to me, because you're getting Kelsey already, you plug them into your flex, and now you can play someone better than a Khalil Herbert. But you said you were struggling with this game. I get it. I think the fact that you don't like Lamar means
I like Lamar, but I'm just probably not going to play much of him.
I mean, he would be the guy that I would take in this game at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I like. So if I were to play Lamar, I mean, the easy stack would be Hollywood and Andrews, and yeah, I'll throw that into the write up, which I'm almost done with. But I don't know. It's a game. Remember when we were talking earlier in the year where it's like you come across these games that you know it's a good game, but you just can't put your finger on which part of it is going to be, like when we do this, when we're building these lineups, like we're building lineups based on like, all right, this is what's going to happen, not like, oh well, this might happen, so
right?
Let's just throw a GPP lineup and that's to me that's idiotic.
Whoa, hold on. Isn't that our whole argument that we had about the Bears?
No, but I'm talking about like you're just playing the guy like with Herbert.
Yeah. No,
I'm just saying that you're playing the guy and it doesn't matter what happens. Like that's just you're just trying to you're essentially trying to get above the cash line. Like we're building lineups here trying to win tournaments, and you're not doing that with Khalil Herbert. Like there's a major difference. But what I'm saying right now is like I'm not going to build a lineup just on like all right, well let's build Chargers stack and then throw that in, and then let's do a Raven stack just because I can't pick which side. Like I want to build lineups around the stacks that in my mind are gonna hit no matter what. And then when they don't hit, which obviously happens, you're like, okay, why was I wrong here? Not like, oh well, I didn't really think that was gonna happen anyway, so here we are. Just kind of threw money out the window for no reason.
There's a lot to digest there. Specifically on this game, because I want to come back to your comment once we've gone through all the games. Specifically on this game, I think you're stuck with the challenge on the pricing for the high end guys. Yeah, it is a good pivot off the Chiefs, which a lot of people are going to look at. But the thing with the Chargers is it's rare. It's been rare historically that Eckler and Keenan specifically go off in the same game. just
Yeah,
because
Eckler's expensive.
he
Eckler's
is.
really expensive.
He is.
7,900.
Yeah. So I think you take the Keenan route. I Cook, because he's so cheap, he could fit in too. But I think the challenge you got to figure out is are you going Lamar or Herbert, and then that solves your path. Because if you go Lamar, you're going Lamar naked, right?
Yeah,
It's
because you
Lamar and
want the
Keenan.
rushing. So I would probably go Lamar if I had to pick between the two. Lamar, just because of the rushing upside. Like Lamar could run for 80 yards in this game and score a touchdown like with his eyes closed.
I don't know that he'll score with his eyes closed, but
Oh, you know what I mean.
yeah, I know. All right, let's jump ahead to the Rams and the Giants. You mentioned Mr. Devontae Booker.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh God, no, we're not playing Devontae Booker. We're not even thinking about playing Devontae Booker.
Nope.
And
Nope.
if someone wants to ask why, Aaron Donald. End of story. The Giants will be lucky to score a point tomorrow, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
How do you roll out Daniel Jones off that concussion against this defense?
I mean, I don't have the answer to that question. I do though. I do know that I like Darrell Henderson in this game a ton.
Okay, that feels like your first strong take of this podcast, by the way.
What do you mean? I told you I loved Mixon.
Okay, you're second.
I,
That was so long ago. Yeah.
oh my god. Yeah, I like Henderson, and I don't really love the passing game just because I don't think there's enough to go around. Like I don't know if Cup at 7,900. Obviously, I don't know if they're going to need to throw the ball enough to justify that. Robert Woods at 6,100 isn't bad, but I'm zoning in on Henderson in this game and just hoping he doesn't get hurt because he's like made out of glass.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So my one take on this game is the Cooper Cup angle. So here's the deal: if Matt Stafford's going to drop back to pass, he's going to say, "Hey, I can go to Cooper Cup." The next time he's going to be like, "Let's do an end around to Robert Woods. Maybe I'll go vertical Van Jefferson. I can throw it to Tyler Higbee. Hand it off Darrell Henderson. Oh shit, he's hurt. Give it to Sony Michel. You know what? Maybe I'll keep it and run it in. Oh, we didn't get the ball this time because our defense just scored and lateraled it 10 times and grabbed their crotch on the way into the end zone." Whereas Aaron Rodgers is going to drop back and he's going to say, "Well, I'm going to throw it to Devontae Adams." And he's going to drop back in. And he's going, "Well, fuck it. I'm going to throw it to Devontae Adams." And once again, right? He's going to keep doing that. Like, here you go, Aaron Jones. That's the problem with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to get you a 16, and you're going to be like, "Come on, give me more." And I think the game's over. I think this game just dies. The Rams, if I'm not so the Rams play. This is the worst look ahead ever. The Rams play the Lions next week. So you got Stafford and Goff against each other next week. But yeah, I think this game gets over really quickly. The Rams defense forces 3 and outs, or at least they hold them to field goals. I mean, if you're the Giants, yeah, you'll probably hand it off to Booker a ton, but he's going to get a yard in a cloud of dust. Not even 2 yards in a cloud of dust. He'll get a yard. I completely wipe this game off. I mean, Kupp, he's great. You want to take a long shot play on Van Jefferson, that's fine. But this doesn't fit my idea of go right down the middle on your build this week, and I'll take Adams over Kupp. So.
Yep. No, I just got, like I said, Henderson, and that's it. Rest of the game, no thanks.
All right. Vikings at Panthers. This is my game.
Okay, then you start because I don't know much here.
I like this game. And the fact that Dalvin Cook is now playing makes me love it even more. So I actually, though, like the passing game. I think this is a good Sam Darnold spot. The Vikings, this is a little bit of me sticking to what I said and sticking to my beliefs at the beginning. And Minnesota had those 2 early games on the road. And then when they came home, I said they're going to play better defensively at home. And they did. Like the first half against Seattle, they gave up the touchdown to Metcalf, and I was like, fuck, everybody got that. Then ever since then, their 3 home games, they've played well defensively. They got pressure on the quarterback. Secondary didn't look as lost. And I said when they go on the road, they're going to go back to sucking. And the thing with Carolina, though, is now keep in mind at the time, my initial thought was, oh, McCaffrey might be back. And then when he was questionable again, I said, okay, I definitely love this. they trust Chuba Hubbard enough now because he's played 3 weeks in a row. And Chuba Hubbard, he's actually going to be chalkier than I thought. He's going to be pretty popular tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, and I think he'll do fine. So I didn't have a take on him either way. He's completely different than Khalil Herbert because, like I said, Herbert, they're rolling him out there for the first time. There's only so much you can expect. Herbert will probably get hurt tomorrow. Okay, you want to bull take Herbert gets hurt. Chuba Herbert's been doing this now 3 weeks in a row. He's gone through the process. He understands a lot more. They're trusting him more in the passing game. And so, as a rookie running back, it's better in pass protection. You trust him to throw more. And this just feels like, hey, Sam Darnold for the first 4 weeks was the talk of the town at quarterback. He was doing it every single week. They have one dud game against the Eagles, and everybody forgets about him. And now you've got the bad Vikings secondary coming in, which can't guard DJ Moore, won't guard Robbie Anderson, and won't even remember that Terrace Marshall is on the field. So, bold prediction, Terrace Marshall gets his first touchdown. DJ Moore gets his usual 8-9 catches. Robbie Anderson gets a high volume here. Sam Darnold, for about the same price as Taylor Heineke, is my pivot at quarterback. And quarterback is a much better and safer position to make a pivot on because the ownership is lower. So if you're wrong, you're not burned as much. And the difference between quarterbacks is usually negated a little bit. So just because the way, the scoring is, a 2 touchdown versus 3 touchdowns, not that much big of a difference. And Darnold was rushing it in quite a bit. And the Vikings with Dalvin Cook, nobody's going to have Dalvin Cook. And I trust him. I think Thielen is in a great spot too against Carolina, who statistically has been okay, but when you got new pieces in your secondary, there's communication issues, and
there's a lot of smoke and mirrors here.
Yeah, and I think Thielen is a bad guy to have communication issues against. You do have a LSU narrative with 2 of the receivers in this game, Jefferson and Marshall,
and Marshall.
Yeah, so I love this game. I like this game more than the Charger Raven game, partially because of pricing, and I like it. I can't say I like it more than the Chiefs Washington game because of the defense, but I think in terms of when you factor ownership and everything else, I think it's right there.
I think you can like it more than that game just because of the ownership alone.
Yeah, but my challenge with it is the playing Darnold I'm okay with.
Right.
And like if you're going to go Darnold, 2 guys, and running back with Thielen or Cook, you can. It's a game that I have to stack probably 3 lineups with because I got to have one with Robbie Anderson. You got to have one with DJ Moore.
What about Kirky?
I got to have one with Robbie Anderson. I got to have one with DJ Moore. What the fuck? No, we're not playing Kirk Cousins. I'll take Thielen or Cook.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Fine. That's fine. I was just checking in on your cousin's status for this weekend.
No, I'll pass.
He's still not invited over for Thanksgiving. I get it.
No, I'll pass. I'll take Darnold for 100 cheaper. So, anybody on this game that you like?
Nah, not much, man. I don't really love it at all. I just think there's other options on the board. I don't really have any strong takes like you, so I'm good. I'm good on this. I don't need, there's the tight end that some guys are talking about as a cheap guy, but Conklin there.
Conklin?
Yeah. Not the game for me.
Agreed. Arizona with no head coach because of COVID, and they are visiting Cleveland, and there's a long fly ball by Travis Darnell. Get up! Nope.
Missed it by that much. Warning track power.
Yeah. That's how I think the Cardinals are going to feel tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a tough time in this game. I don't love this game either from a DFS perspective, but I think I still think Baker sucks. I like Hunt a ton, but like I said with the running backs, like Hunt, Mixon, Henderson are the 3 guys that I'm like really, really high on tomorrow. But this game overall, outside of that, other than the Odell Beckham touchdown that's going to happen, I don't like it at all.
I'll give you the Odell touchdown. I'll give you that. I can see it.
I do think he score. I do think he scores a touchdown tomorrow.
All right, fine. There is the typical Cleveland wind in October in this game.
Yeah, that's part of the
17.
reason why Arizona, like Kyler, like throwing those lollipop passes around. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, so first off, Hunt is, I'd say you play him. I like the Cleveland ground game before. The only problem was we had two guys to deal with. Now that it's just one for that price, I'm just not even going to. I
yeah.
like
You
it.
don't
I'll
think
play
about
it.
it.
Yeah, I
He'll
don't
be the
think about
highest
it.
owned run. He'll be the highest owned running back tomorrow.
He should be. He should be. I
He
mean,
he
if
he. he I mean, outside of
I hope he
you know,
is, honestly. I hope he is for the sake of
he should be.
sanity. Um,
Yeah, he should be.
yeah, but I agree. Outside of that, there's not much. I love the Browns defense, though. I think the fact that you don't have your head coach and Browns defense had that one blip last week against the Chargers, but other than that, they've been rock solid as we would expect.
Right.
And you know they can get pressure. Kyler will take a sack, more
Yeah.
than anybody, because fuck, you'll get the luck sack in this where he's scrambling, so it shouldn't be a sack, and it ends up being a loss, and they give him the sack. But
Yeah.
um, I do think, if you're a 20 lineup person, right, and you're expanding your player pool, I think someone like a Rondale Moore has to be considered, just because if you've got wind and you want to get that quick passing game going, he
hmm
he could have 6 or 7 catches here. Get loose on one of them for 50, 60 yards, and you're saying, shoot, I got a pretty good return with a one-off from Rondale Moore. And on the late slate, which this is on, of 3 games, I definitely like Rondale Moore as kind of a lower owned play here. But other than that, it's Hunt, Brown's defense, and yeah, if you like the Beckham play, then you should play a bet, do a same game parlay with Beckham scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. Anytime touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a better way to kind of capitalize your money there. So,
Sure.
um, Cowboys and Patriots, and I'll be honest, this one I started to come around to liking it a little bit more as I was doing my article. Um,
Yeah.
not like a tier one type play, and then I started poking and looking, and it's actually going to be a little popular, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Did you find anything in this that you liked?
So when I did my initial analysis on Tuesday, I said to myself, I go, who is Belichick going to try to shut down? And immediately Elliott popped up into my head. And that hasn't changed for me at all. But I also think that is a good thing for Dallas because I think they really need to get their passing game going. Like get Lamb going more involved. They need to start running him out of the slot more because when you have Cooper and Gallup and Lamb all in the field, and obviously Gallup's hurt, but when you have them all in the field, Lamb is in the slot a ton. And ever since Gallup's gotten hurt, he's been out of the slot a lot. So you've had Dalton Schultz utilizing some of the slot in the middle of the field more than Lamb would, and I think it's really it's made for a struggle for him. So I think Dallas, again, if Zeke is going to be limited just because of what Belichick does to stop him, I think it's going to help Dak go through his progressions more, and they're going to have to win by throwing the ball. Like, I don't know if this is a big high scoring game though that Vegas thinks it's going to be. I don't know if this is going to be. I could see Dallas like going in there and winning like 21-17 or something like that. Like honestly, so
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat on the final score there. And I don't know one way or the other what Belichick is going to try to do to limit anything. I actually could see him trying to take out the passing game,
yeah,
thinking that he can win up front. But the reason why I was saying I kind of start to like it a little bit more is I do like the Patriots passing game against Dallas. And Hunter Henry is another one of those cheap tight ends at 3,900 that is getting the volume. Mac Jones
mm-hmm.
is rookie quarterbacks rely on their tight ends. Patriots always run a tight end friendly offense. I think he's going to give you good volume. And then if you want to throw some darts, Myers, Aguilar, Bourne, I mean, one of them's going to have a big play here in this game. It's probably more of a 4 o'clock only slate. One even where I would think that you could do Mac Jones as your quarterback on 4 o'clock only. But, yeah, picking who does it on Dallas feels a little tricky. It would probably be Amari back this week, or you ride Zeke. But Tony Pollard's not going anywhere. He's going to be involved as well.
Right.
It's not a. I'm with you too. I lean the under. I think 50 is extremely high, and I think that they put it there just because you've got two big name teams. You got the 4:25 time slot, game of the week. Most people bet overs, and you set that at a 50, and people are going to bet the over. And you're right, it comes in way under. So, but because you got cheap guys here on the New England side, I think DFS wise, you could see, hey, this doesn't kill you, but it's definitely not a stack game.
No.
Outside of 4 o'clock only, and there's only 3 games at 4 o'clock only, so stacking isn't really a thought.
I think it's a really good football game. I don't know if it's a great DFS game.
Well, they're better. Shit, there won't be a baseball game on. Baseball won't start till 7 tomorrow, will it?
No.
Okay, well, the night game sucks too, so I'll be watching baseball over this. The last game on the slate, Denver hosting the coachless Raiders, who apparently had a coach that said a bunch of stupid shit, and nobody responded to his emails, apparently. He just sent these emails, and that was it.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Total bullshit.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. Let's see the rest of those. But I think this game's going way under the radar. I think everybody's forgotten about this game.
I think it's a good game.
Okay.
I like. I actually put them in my article as another stack to consider. Denver. You know, the Vegas defense isn't great, and and the stack I wrote up is Bridgewater, Noah Fant, and Cortland Sutton. And you'll notice that I don't have Javonte Williams in there. And it's not that I don't like Javonte Williams. I like him a ton, and I think he should be playing a ton. But I just don't trust Denver and this fossil coaching staff, like these dinosaurs, to just stop giving the ball to Melvin Gordon and let this guy play. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know if it's going to take like an injury that's going to keep him out for games to see it happen in the case of Gordon. But like Javonte Williams should be playing. He should be playing 65, 70% of the snaps at this point. Would you agree?
He should, but the problem is Melvin Gordon is still playing well, so I understand why Denver takes the approach of let's keep it balanced. I get why they're not.
It's stupid. I think it's stupid.
Gordon's played well, though.
He's played fine, but like, has he played well though? He had the game against the Giants. He had 100 yards rushing.
Yeah,
but one of them was on It was a 70-yard run.
But if you're Denver, and you go, in a tight game, if you all of a sudden bench Gordon, right? Then, excuse me, I get the hiccups. Then, I don't have a problem with what they've been doing now.
I'm not saying bench the guy.
No.
Like reverse the role. Like
it's 50-50.
Javonte more.
It's 50-50.
Okay, well stop making it 50-50. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Okay.
Like, what did he have?
I hope they do that this week because Javonte Williams will be on every lineup I build.
He had 10 touches Dude, he had 10 touches 2 weeks ago against Baltimore. He had 11 last week. Like, what is that?
Williams or Gordon?
Williams.
Yeah, well, Gordon had the same thing though.
But that's what I'm saying. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't understand it.
All right. Well,
it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I get why you're not putting. I get why you wouldn't put him on the stack. Yeah, I get
right.
that. Because
and I won't have a lot of even in the 4 o'clock only slate. I don't know if I'm gonna have a ton of him just because if he touches the ball 8 times and he doesn't break one off, then you're like, fuck, I just wasted money and time with this guy.
I'll have 100% Javonte Williams tomorrow, and he's the bet that I was going to make
On
with
the
you.
main slate?
Yes,
Jesus.
he'll beat
That's
your Joe
nice.
Mixon. He'll beat Joe Mixon tomorrow.
Okay.
So the here's my thought pattern on it. I don't think the Raiders show up tomorrow. I think that they just are going to be completely lost this week. I think that they'll be unprepared offensively, and you're going to have Denver getting a ton of possessions. And this is a really good defense for Javonte Williams to break loose against. So you talked about he's got to hit that big one. This is the defense for him to hit that big one against. And if they get up, as I expect, to 20-3 or whatever, I do think you could see some of that. Hey, let's let Williams run a little bit more. Like if he gets going, he breaks off a long one. I think you'll start to see them expand it a little bit here and say, let's not push the older guy in a game that's a blowout. Let's rest Gordon. He's not going to go away. He did show up on the injury report, by the way. Melvin Gordon did.
Good. I hate to say that, but good.
Yeah, I think
off the field.
I think it's veteran maintenance, but he did show up. But yeah, I'm all in on Javonte Williams this week because $5,000, 56 on on FanDuel. That's dude against this Raiders defense.
Nice. Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
that's the Raiders defense has given up 10 touchdowns on the season. 7 of them have come on the ground. So, fuck, even if I'll be tilting if Gordon does get a 1-yard touchdown tomorrow. But Javonte Williams, to me, will beat Mixon. He'll beat Herbert. He'll destroy Booker. He's one of my top 3. He's one of my top 3 running backs. And probably the one that I feel, well, Kareem Hunt I feel the best about. But he feels like a free square this week. But Hunt, Williams, that's kind of right now where I feel 1-2 where I want to go.
All right. I could see it. I mean, I could see it in tournaments for sure. I just can't I don't know. I got to see it. I got to see it happen. You know, I can't trust the coaching staff giving them like a 50-50 split like this.
Okay. So here are the 3 lineups that I'm sharing this on the screen, but the optimizer currently spit out just to walk through what it liked. Heineke, Taylor, Hunt, Adams, Sterling Shepard at 5,000. We didn't even mention him, and I think that's a terrible play. I'll have to downgrade his projection, but Jacoby Myers, and then it went double tight end with Cook and Andrews and the Colts defense at 3,500, who you and I both agreed let's go cheaper at defense this week, but not as balanced as I was thinking. But in terms of the overall ratings on the model, I just want to see if there's anybody that we missed that is graded highly here. Quarterback, not much we touched on that. Running back, Hunt, Taylor, Gibson, obviously against the Chiefs, should grade out well, but I think we both agree his ceiling is limited. Darrell Henderson looks to be the 2nd or 3rd highest owned running back tomorrow right now. Looks like Hunt.
That's about right. It's about
that's what you got too.
It's about Hunt, Henderson. Taking Herbert out of the equation, of course.
But yeah, running back
Henderson. Yeah.
Sorry,
Henderson. A little bit of Taylor, Hubbard, Swift, those guys.
Yeah, running backs deep. I mean, just Hunt, Taylor. I'll skip Gibson, Henderson, Eckler.
Yeah.
I like Williams, who should be very low owned. Swift and Mixon. You got Cook that's getting ignored. Chuba Hubbard. Aaron Jones is getting ignored. We talked about
no one's going to play the $7,000 running back.
Yeah, exactly. You got a little Booker in there,
so that's where a lot of the leverage pivot is.
100%.
Get off of the expensive receiver. We talked about it earlier. Get off of the expensive receivers, and go to the expensive running backs. And it seems like a very easy thing, but you still have to build the lineups around it. It's not like it's not as easy as it sounds.
Well, and I think one position to just say, you know what, I'm going to go cheap at is quarterback. Because you're fading Mahomes, right? You're fading Mahomes, I guess Lamar.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are going to go cheap at quarterback, though, dude.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to have Heineke, or a lot of people are going to have Lamar. I think those are the 2.
Receiver, we mentioned Adams, obviously Hill. We didn't really have a stance on Tyreek.
mean, he. I don't know.
The
Like
injury
I'd
bothers
rather
me.
have Adams.
The injury
What's
bothers
that?
me. The injury
Yeah,
bothers me.
a little bit, a little bit. Cooper Cup looks like he's going to be popular too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got
But
so
I
Adams
mean,
Hill, Tyreek, or excuse me, Adams Hill, Tyreek, Adams, Tyreek, and Cup are the top three.
and as far as the value guys go, it looks like T Higgins 5,300. Actually, Brandon Cooks people are buzzing on
The latest projection model I ran
5,800.
pulled Jacoby Myers at 15%.
Ew.
Yeah, because it's seeing the Dallas defense giving up 311 yards per game,
Yeah.
only 65%
5,500.
completion rate.
Yeah, 55. I guess that's about right.
Yeah, I prefer Cooks over Myers.
So I think the best wide receiver leverage play tomorrow is Justin Jefferson.
That's a very good one.
Just based on the upside that he's going to have
I
and
like it.
the ownership that he has. Just because in that range, it's Adams, it's Tyreek that people are playing, right? So and Cup, and Jefferson is $100 more than Cup. So I think that's a nice leverage play.
Yeah, I'm looking Thielen. Dude, Thielen's 5,800 on
Yeah,
DK. I didn't even double check that. That's he'll be locked
and
in for me.
no one's going to play him though.
That on that Carolina build, he's perfect. So,
Yeah.
Allen Robinson is lower owned than I expected he would be. I guess nobody trusts him, which I get it. We don't like DeAndre Hopkins. Talked about that. Miko Hardman.
I would love him if Tyreek didn't play, of course.
Okay.
Problem I have is that it's Hill, it's Kelsey, Hardman's on the field, but he's not. He's too much of a shot play guy. He's too risky for me to like go heavily on, but he's definitely a big play waiting to happen.
Yeah. Tight end, it's there's options here, but it drops off after those options. Andrews, Kelsey, we talked about. You mentioned Ricky Seals-Jones. You like Jared Cook. I said is dirt cheap. I think Hunter Henry is getting overlooked. I would much rather have Hunter Henry than Jacoby Myers for sure. And then everything else is trash. It's just complete trash everywhere else.
Did you mention Noah Fant? I kind of like Noah Fant tomorrow.
I
do like Noah
he's
Fant tomorrow.
He's the next guy on the list here. Yeah, so he's
I like Noah Fant
in the next tier. And Fant 4,800. Yeah, okay. Ironically, the model likes Andrews a lot more than Kelsey, believe it or not. But I think it's heavily skewed by
salary driven.
No, not too much. I mean, it's 1,800, which, like, if Andrews was 4,000, I'd say yeah. But I think it's heavily skewed by the fact that Andrews has seen a massive increase in targets.
Right.
And here's the tricky thing about target percentages that people always overlook. A 15%, or excuse me, yeah, a 15% target share on a team like the Chiefs is the same thing as 25% on a team like the Ravens. Because the target, you're like, oh, well, he gets less of the team's targets. Yeah, well, the team throws the ball 15 to 20 times more per game. So I don't care that they have So I don't care that Kelsey has less target percentage than Mark Andrews. It doesn't. You gotta look at the raw numbers on this sometimes and just say, okay, what am I doing here? And then defense is always a crapshoot. I think the Colts are at the top. Yeah, they are. Who else is gonna be chalk? So on DK, we've got Colts.
So the chalk defenses are going to be Detroit, Cleveland, Colts, and probably if I would, God, I can't figure out who the fourth defense would be. Probably Arizona.
Oh, so
probably
yeah,
Arizona.
It is. So here's the four that I have: Colts, Ravens, which is pissing me off that they're that high because I've already made my claim that I like them.
Really?
Yeah, 2,300, dude. You mentioned the Lions at 21.
Oh, yeah.
You said Lions 2,100. They're next. Ravens at 2,300.
Yeah.
And then the Cardinals, and then the Browns.
Yeah.
The Bengals are last.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I thought Cincinnati would be a little bit, but it might be price driven.
Price driven, 3,400.
3,400, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I
Gun
mean,
gun
they're
to
a
your
shitty
head, you got to
defense.
play the Bengals defense for $3,400. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The more I'm looking at it, it's more like it's a Detroit, Arizona. Like I don't know if that Detroit, the Cleveland Arizona game has a ton of points in it. The more I'm thinking about it.
All
So,
right. Well, you want
but
to
I
go
want,
on?
but
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, go ahead. No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say you want to go on record Mixon versus Javante Williams.
Yeah, and DK points. Yeah, I
Okay.
think Mixon outscores Javante and DK points.
Done. Done. I'll take that. And then your top game stack is what?
I'm gonna eat the chalk with the Kansas City Washington game.
Okay. You're doing
Yeah,
three in your article, right?
yeah, I wrote up three. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I fully wrote up two, and then I added two others just as considerations. I wrote up. You guys can all go and read it, but I wrote up Kansas City, Washington, wrote up the Colts, and then as considering, I put in Denver, and I put in that little Baltimore, Jackson, Marquise, Andrews stack I was talking about. But I just don't love it. There's not a lot of stacks I love, so I'm not going to really force the issue this week with it in my builds. And it's nice with there only being 10 games, so there's not a lot to force in there.
yeah, it does. It does help that we finally got back to a uh,
Yeah.
a lighter slate a little bit here, and with a couple games knocked off, and we'll have that now with the bye weeks. I didn't realize how much that was becoming a little bit of a headache even for me. But I was like, yeah, a couple games off this week is nice. Sucks for the 4 o'clock only slate, but it is what it is. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, good deal. I will get this uploaded on the site so people can listen to the full stream and hear the Herbert and Cash rant that I had with Rob. Nice little friendly debate.
That
And
was good.
then I will I'll send you my cash lineup tomorrow so you can see and you can make fun of it if it doesn't cash because I don't have Herbert.
Well, as always, I'll send you mine. So I don't know if it's going to have Herbert or not. So we'll see.
Good
We'll see
deal.
how I sleep